Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. When it rains and rains and rains, and then when it's finished raining it rains some more, you don't tend to go outside, or I don't. Rain is for ducks to be in, not people. So I haven't been keeping my eye on the bonsai, but according to my notes there are some that have got to be repotted at this turnaround. So let's go out and have a look round and see what's going on. The reason for this is that I can see from here my trident maple is breaking, the buds are breaking, and that's on the list and that has to be done. So that's a now thing. And I did a video a while ago to check your resources, make sure you've got everything ready to go coming up to repotting. And guess what? I haven't got any compost. So you tell everybody else to do it and forget to do it yourself. I've got everything apart from a general purpose compost, basically, you know, a sort of fibrous media that gets mixed in with the grit and everything else that I mix in to make up my stuff. It's mostly grit. Anyway, let's go and have a look round. Oh, that's another reason for not being out here, it's cold. It's just starting to warm up. I noticed Xavier was playing around with his bonsai in 3 degrees. Now, if I've got to play with my bonsai, I take them inside. I don't work outside. Right, so as stated in there, we've got bud break on the tridents. Now there's 3 trees in here. 2 have already had their trunks chopped and have extended quite well last year. Got good, well over half a metre, 2/3 of a metre extension on that one. This one has had the top chopped and has an air layer, and I'm confident we have roots inside that air layer. So that's 3 trees in a pot. 2 are going to stay together to form a twin trunk, I think. I may not. I may just have 3 separate trees and a 4th from the top there. Now, this red beech, copper beech, that's on the list to be repotted because I didn't like the media it was in, and since then it's grown every sort of weed and moss that you could possibly imagine, so that's on the list, but that's not showing any signs of movement yet. That will be late. Beech are always late. This beech tree here doesn't need repotting, but it needs the top raked off. It needs all that moss taken off and the top raked, so that the water goes down in the pot. It's a vigorous tree, this one. Doesn't need repotting this year. It'll just need the extensions trimmed. That won't need much work at all this year. This maple here won't need much work at all either. So we're okay here. The Deshojo up here, I'm waiting for bud break. That has to be repotted this year. And we're nearly there, I would say. Not long now. Buds are just starting to swell. That's going to be a big job. That's going in a totally different shaped pot. Totally different. It's going in a deeper, smaller pot. So the outside of that will have to just be cut straight off and then the bottom raked out. So some work to do on that one. The effort I put in last year pinching out those little shoots, I've got a better ramification on that than I've had for a long time, because this was allowed to escape. Got right out of shape, but I'm getting the shape back now. So that's that one. And then coming round here, oof, the azalea got repotted, so that doesn't need doing. Don't know whether we'll get any buds on that. Looks like there are buds in the centre, so we should get some flowers on that. They're bright red. That is always falling over. Mind you, we've had some pretty grim storms recently. Now I've got 4 blackthorn here. I haven't got a clue what to do with them. They just got left in their pots. They did grow a bit last year. This is golden larch. Bud's starting to swell on that. Again, that's been repotted. That doesn't need touching. Oh, my Japanese larch. We got green. We got green showing. That needs a prune. And it needs going in a better pot. So although that's not on my list, I'm going to put it on my list, because I think if I start trimming that this year, last year I just let it grow. If I start trimming that this year, it's going to put on a fair bit of new growth. As a consequence, it'll have a burst of roots, and it will be better if they go into a decent pot. Oh, shouldn't bend over too much, my back hurts. This doesn't need repotting. This just needs bud selection and all this cleaned up. Job for the new Dremel that I haven't tried out yet. Well, rotary tool, it's not actually a Dremel. I think Dremel's a brand name, isn't it? My Japanese white pine, I need to have a look round and see what to do with this. I know some of the wires biting in, that needs to come off. That maple, nothing to do with this one, doesn't need a repot. The hawthorn behind it doesn't need a repot, that's been done. And just coming along here, looks like I'm losing a branch on this little, I've forgotten what it is now. I forget what it is every single time. This little juniper needs pinching. It needs these pads to tighten up. I'm going to keep this as a small tree. I'm not going to let this become a giant tree. I'm just going to keep this as a little tree. But it would be nice if the pads were nice and tight. So that's a work in progress. These two pines are going to not another bonsai channel, I'll get there in a minute. So these are coming out of their pots. I'm not posting them potted, and they will hopefully go in the post beginning of next week. It's been agreed that these two will go. I can't think what to do with them, and I'll have more than enough trees to play with. So you know, these are a more long-term project. I mean, as starter trees, they're not bad. You know, they put on some good growth last year. So that's those two. That thing, not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. Something. And this definitely needs to go in a bonsai pot this year, and it needs the work started. There's a lovely tree down inside here. That needs to be got at. And it's basically branch selection, major branch selection, some gins to produce from where the air layers failed, get it in a bonsai pot, get those roots to fan out, and start work. Basically, there's a good tree in there waiting to be found. And my Kojo no Mei, it's difficult to know what to do with this. It was grown as a tree, and well, originally it was going to be a bonsai, then it was grown on as a garden tree in a tub. Now I've brought it back in to become a bonsai. It's had a bit of wiring done on it, but I think it's difficult to grow this as a bonsai and get a mass blooming. It would be technically quite difficult to do. So I've got to decide, is this a bonsai tree in the strictest sense, or is it a nice flowering cherry in a bonsai pot? Because the pruning will be different. But this needs some work. We've got crossing branches. I mean, you can see the blossom is gorgeous, but there's not a lot of it, is there? You need clusters like this all over the tree, not just in a dozen places. So it's a matter of pruning it to produce these clusters, which means long extensions like this need trimming back. So we'll have to think about that one, but it doesn't need repotting, that's been done. So there we go, that's a look round at the few trees that I've got and the planned work. And that work would have started today with the trident maples, that was the plan, until I found out that I haven't got any general purpose compost, so I'm going to have to take a trip to the garden centre, which is 5-minute drive away. It's no big deal. It's just the bother of doing it. I thought I had some, but I think what happened was when we started work on the garden last year, we started planting up some of the garden tubs, and that's where all the compost went. And I'd forgotten we'd done that. I did that with my daughter Hannah. So there we go, that's a quick look at the bonsai trees and the initial plans and the repots that are planned, and the one that really needs doing is the trident, because the leaves are breaking now, so that really needs to be today or tomorrow. I need to get at that. So we will go and get some compost and get at it, as they say. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.